ahead and interrupt, unmute yourself, and then that way we can, address stuff specific to you. Probably somebody else on this will have the same question. So I have no problem doing that. We've got a lot of content, so I want to go over all of this stuff pretty quickly, and that way you guys can get a lot out of it. So take notes, and your hand's probably going to be tired if you're not typing. So let's go into the 2021 business plan. So number one, a lot of you guys probably should have done a business plan about 30 or 60 days ago. And if you haven't, because real estate agents are procrastination in nature, then procrastinators in nature, then this class is definitely for you. We start with figuring out what do we really want to take out of our business. And that's a difficult question because we all want more money, right? We want more time, but identifying that is part of the key. To write a winning business plan, it takes probably this class and another 4 or 5 hours for you to work on it and use it as a consistent method or guide to go back, answer the same questions that I'm going to present to you, and really work on it throughout the year. So it's a never-ending living document that can be changeable as different opportunities arise and different challenges arise in your business, because there's always going to be opportunities, there's always going to be challenges. So take that with a grain of salt as you're writing down all this stuff, and this will help you with your plan. So to get started, for a little bit of the mental clarity is, why don't you write down, I deserve to have everything I want out of my business, out of my life. Give yourself permission for that. Next thing I would write down, and this is really how I've really grown multiple businesses at a high level, is I start every day at zero. Start every day at zero. When you start every day at zero, like you have nothing in escrow, like you have no prospects, it forces you, of your subconscious, of saying, hey, I got to go to work. So a lot of people will hit complacency and they will start stalling out on their business. When they close a big transaction, they go on vacation. And then it's really slow for them to get started. So, and then their business goes like this, through the peaks and valleys of the business, because they're not starting every single day at zero, and they don't have their plan. Okay. So the other thing I wrote down here is, I have no ego. I left it out of this plan. So it doesn't matter how successful you are currently or in the past, get rid of that. Only use the ego that you have to push yourself to the next level, because you know you can do it, okay? Because every day, a real estate agent has to be in learning and growing mode and be a servant to the marketplace. We're a servant to our clients, and we're a servant to our business plan that is attached to our goals. Okay, it's really important. So I will use the ego part to push me to the next level, because I'm not going to stop until I get what I want. Okay, and whatever that is, whether it's new house, new car, whether that is $500,000 in the bank, whether that is I want 20 new listings at this price range, that's really important. Use the ego only for that. So write down, what is it that I really want out of my business? Okay, your business is supposed to fund your lifestyle. Okay, now David Golden is over here somewhere with Emily, and David definitely has his business funding his lifestyle. So I've known David for over a decade, and the guy is a killer, and he's just in his groove right now, which is fantastic. So there's a lot of people that I've seen that go really big and fall really fast. David has done that a couple times, and now he's on another high on his business. He's killing it. So good job, David. So what do you want your business to fund? I want it to fund time with my family. I want it to fund the vacations that I want. That's why I'm going to work. So that this business plan has to feel good, right? And it's got to be targeted to this business is funding this. Okay, there's an emotional attachment to that. It's really important. So when you hit those challenges in your business, you can keep going. All right, so this last 12 months, okay, is really important to identify where your business has come from. Okay, so write that down. We're sourcing your business. Okay, where did the closings come from? Where did the referrals come from? Did they come from your sphere of influence? Did they come from your past clients, your friends and family, business to business, internet leads, open houses, agent to agent referrals? Sourcing the last 12 months on your closings and your opportunities that may not have developed into closings is vitally important, because we can duplicate that. And this is going to give you insight on where your business is going to go, what kind of effort that you have to put into it in order to duplicate that or quadruple that result. Okay. Now, since we're sourcing our business, and there's a lot of real estate agents, like 70–80% of the deals out there for most real estate agents comes from referrals or sphere of influence or past clients, friends and family. An important question to put down, part of your business plan, is, did I send a thank you card? Right? It's simple. But most people are not living in gratitude. They're not writing a thank you card out for the people that are referring them business. So that's why I put that down there. That's an important part of your plan. You've got to give back, at least in gratitude. You don't have to give them a gift, but at least in gratitude, where they feel appreciated. So they're going to send you the next referral. Okay. Do I call the sphere of influence, the past clients, the friends and family 4 times a year? So write that down. It's one of your numbers I'm going to give you. 4 times a year, make a phone call so we can get interaction from that sphere of influence and the past clients, friends, and family. Okay. Next one is, are all of these people in your database, or at least your top people, are they in a monthly mailer system, whether it's emails, whether it's snail mail? Are they in that? So that would also give you 12 touches. So you have 12 touches from a marketing system, and you've got 4 calls. You've got 16 touches. You're top of mind the entire year. Okay. So this is going to pull people to think about you in real estate. Okay. Are they your friend on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media thing that you're using? And are you hitting the like button on their social media? Because when you do that, when you do hit that like button, you're reassuring them of acceptance. And when they feel accepted all year long, you're calling them 4 times, you've got them on a monthly mailer system, you're the professional top of mind for them, and you're more likely to get those referrals. Okay. So super important to do that. Did I do a yearly review? Okay. A real estate, write this down, real estate yearly review for all of my database, all of my past clients, my center of influence, my family, my friends. So they own assets. Okay. And I was talking to a good friend of mine this morning, and we were talking about strategies as the market starts, picking up even more. People are moving states. There's a ton of activity in real estate. People are not happy in the lockdown states. Okay. They're not happy being in their house that was too small for them, or was perfect for them prior to the lockdowns. Now it's too small for them. They want space. They don't want to be around people so much. So there's a ton of stuff because of this pandemic that's going on in the shutdowns, that people are finally going to say, hey, let's move out of the city. Let's go buy acreage. Let's, move locations, move states, whatever it is. So it's a huge opportunity to say, hey, your house went up 23%, or on average in the city went up 14%. Okay, I think California was 14%. Arizona, I think, was a little bit higher. So if you think about that and you're calling them, they don't know that. They're not real estate. They don't see the stuff that we see. So they're relying on you in order to really help them adjust what their financial outlook for their housing is going to look like. So it's really important to do a real estate yearly review. And if you haven't sent out marketing, you don't have time because it's the end of the year now, do this in January. And I think you're going to get engaged with activity on people buying and selling real estate. Remember, there's 73 million or 75 million baby boomers that are retiring, and there's probably somewhere in the next 10 to 15 years, unfortunately, these people are going to pass away. Okay, when they're 70 years old now, the lifespan's average is 78. So there's a huge amount of inheritance that's going into the population, and a lot of second houses and third houses and investment properties. So your database is really, really important. Also, okay, combined with social media, because everybody's on social media now, is really important to make sure you're friends with all those people on there, so they really see you and view you as the real estate expert, the go-to person. Okay, really important to do that. Okay, are your clients and your friends and family going through hell right now because of the pandemic? Okay, write that down. There's people that have lost their jobs. They're not paying their bills. They can't find work in certain cities across America and the world, actually. And they're going through hell. They don't know what to do. They're behind on their mortgage. They were in forbearance for 3 or 4 months. They might be in forbearance for another 3 or 4 months. Well, statistically, and since I've been an REO agent for a long, long time, and several of you guys on here have, so statistically, if they hit that 60-day mark, for sure a 90-day mark, they're going to short sell, or they're going to go to foreclosure. Now, we don't know like a high probability. I don't remember the stats off the top of my head, but it's super high. They will start selling their houses to readjust. So those are leads that you can incorporate into the business. Ask the title company for lists of people that are in forbearance situations. That's a prospecting tip that needs to be incorporated into your business plan. It needs to be addressed that, hey, I can help you short sell your house if you don't have equity. And if you do have equity, it's time to really consider this, because we're at a high point in the marketplace. And if you don't have a job, right, and you're still in a forbearance situation, your credit's getting hit. And you potentially aren't going to recover that. Take the money now, go rent something, and let's prolong this. Let's preserve the wealth, and reposition you for a better lifestyle. I think it's really important. Okay. So if they lost their job, help them find a new one. So I know David and I did this for many years. We still do it for people that we know in the relocation or the REO business. We helped asset managers find new jobs, right? You help somebody find a new job, just the sheer fact that you actually cared enough to help them find a new job, they will really, really appreciate that. They're never going to forget that. It's a big deal. Okay. So if they're going through hell, they don't know what to do, they need an advisor. Your job as a real estate professional is to be that advisor. Okay. Did they have a life event that happened that, caused some type of disruption in their family? There's a lot of people going through this stuff. So these are questions to ask. Do they own a business? Did their business get shut down? Did they own a restaurant? Right? A lot of these restaurants, I don't know the percentage, but 50%, maybe even 75%, will never come back. If they're in your sphere of influence and they own a restaurant, then they're going through hell. You need to be there to help them readjust their lifestyle, encourage them, and be the shoulder to cry on, and really focus them on the new direction so they can come out of this at a better way. And there's opportunities there. Can you help them negotiate their lease? Can you get them out of the lease? Can you, if they own the building, can you sell the building on the commercial side of it? So there's a lot of opportunities there. So I put down here, are you putting in the time and effort to be the first person they call? I said this a little bit ago. So that goes with the social media, that goes with the mailer campaigns, that goes with the personal phone calls. Digging deep into the clientele, their personal life and their business life will emotionally attach them to you as the professional, right? And I'm not saying go, dig deep into their personal life and all that stuff, but if they're open to sharing some of this stuff, it's really important for your relationship, right? It's all relationship based, data mining almost, on a personal phone call. What can you do differently this year than you did last year to increase the referrals? Okay, we're touching some of this, but that's a question that I want you guys each individually to answer, because you know your clientele, I do not. So how do we do that? Did I say this, or did I actually call them 4 times? Am I just expecting them to call me? That's really important to understand of what can I do different, okay? If you're working internet leads, they're harder to convert these days because everybody's wall is up, their guard is up, right? And if their guard's up, you've got to say something intelligent to get them to respond. So the skills have to increase. They have to really be identified of like, hey, this is where I'm starting with the skills. This is where I need to go to improve my communication and understand communication styles, understand communication with their personality. And that way you can try to communicate with them properly their way, and they'll respond to you in a better manner, okay, with internet leads. Now, write down, did I have an ROI, return on investment, on my internet leads? So I'll coach a bunch of teams and individuals that are spending tremendous money on internet leads. And these teams and individuals are not tracking ROI. They're like, oh, it's only $1,000 per month. And then I'll say, well, how much is your platform fee? And if they have Boomtown, if they have, a KV core, if they're not at, at a lower cost on a KV core, like some of the eXp people do, if they have, what's the Fidelity one? Commissions Inc. Some of these platform costs are an additional $1,000 to $1,500 a month, plus their spend on their pay-per-click or their Facebook leads. So a lot of these people are spending $1,500 to $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year. How many transactions do you have to pull out of there in order to just break even? And you did the work, okay, for those internet leads. Are you tracking the ROI? So you got to do the math. Really, really important. Do the math. Okay. Identify your bad habits with regards to the follow-up that you've been doing on those leads and the communication with these leads. Okay. What bad habits do you have? Because I'll have internet leads come in and it'll be a good one. I am probably busy. I'm not calling them right away. I've got to find somebody to call them right away, okay, or text them. People are having tremendous success with just text. They're perfecting their communication with text and trying to pull that lead into the engagement of the conversation that you want to have. Remember, they just think that you're selling them something. So you have to really figure out that communication. And there's a ton of stuff on that. And I want to go into all of that. We can do that another time. And I'll bring in some really expert friends of mine that kill this. And I just talked to one here the other day that is killing it with seller leads. And we're going to start implementing that. I'm going to bring him on an interview and share that with everybody out there. So it's really good strategies. Okay, so identify your good habits and duplicate your good habits. Okay, So we don't want to duplicate our bad habits, right? We want to solve those, but we do want to duplicate our good habits. Identify what's working and do it again. Okay. Other sources, open houses. Open houses, so it's important to track your open houses. How many did you do? Because some of the markets are open, they're doing open houses. Some of the markets are shut down and nobody's doing open houses. And it's not that they can't. They could have a coronavirus form filled out at the open house. Hey, do you have any symptoms? I'm going to check your temperature. I'm going to document it, and I'm going to have an open house. Now, do you think that if you have signs out there for an open house, there's going to be traffic coming in when everything's shut down? There's nothing to do. People are just driving around. I think it gives you an advantage to do open houses in those markets that aren't going on. Now, you might get some slack for sure. That's with anything you ever do. There's always judgment out there. But it could get you a few clients because you're face-to-face. And a lot of real estate agents are really good face-to-face, better than text. Okay? Really important. Think about that. Now, the other thing, if you are in a lockdown state, a lockdown city, and the open houses aren't going on, and it's a taboo thing to do, then what about open houses online? Okay, one of the systems we do use is KV Core. There's a whole class on online open houses. So I can probably get you the class and send it to you. So think about online open house. You can build it up. You can do Facebook marketing. People are hitting the like button. They're registering for the open house. And then you do a premiere on the open house on a virtual open house. Okay. Now, if they have a Facebook account, now you know who they are. So you can try to communicate them using instant messenger. They're registering for your open house. You might be able to get their phone number. They put it incorrect. So it's an advantage in the marketplace for the people that are doing that. Okay. And it's a competitive advantage when nobody else is doing it and you do that. Gives you a competitive advantage. FSBOs and expires. This is interesting right now. There's a lot of people I'll talk to that say, hey, there's no FSBOs going on right now. Or there are FSBOs and they're selling within a day. How do I get those opportunities? It's communication. It's your presentation. So is that an area that you need to level up on your presentation skills, your communication skills in order to try to engage them in the conversation? Can you market that property since there's low inventory all over the place? Can you market that property and try to get the buyer for it and potentially help them find the for sale by owner, get paid your 3 or 4% commission, whatever, and then help them buy their replacement property? So potentially that's something that still goes on right now. One of the agents in Phoenix, matter of fact, that I was speaking to the other day, she just listed a FSBO. So it's happening, okay? Expires. If they haven't sold in this marketplace yet, and they've been on the market for a long period of time, they're overpriced, period, end of story. Or, okay, there's something wrong with the property, which is overpriced, but I'll give you that, right? It's condition. And so condition, 20%, price, 80%. Those expired listings, I think they're gold. Go after them. Really, really important. So the question under there is, what skills do I need to add in order to go after those expireds and go after those FSBOs? If you don't have the skill, then we can connect you with some of the people that have the skill to do that. One of my good friends, Scott Marlowe, some of you guys know Scott in Scottsdale. He is probably one of the world's expert on FSBOs. Dude kills it on FSBOs. So I'll try to interview him for some of these things that I'm going to do. Okay, now part of your sphere of influence and part of your past clients and your friends and family, you should be doing client parties. Okay, client parties 3 or 4 times a year. Okay, where everybody's invited. The biggest client party I've ever had was about 600 people that showed up at my Halloween event in Encinitas, California. Fire marshal showed up too. That was interesting. They were mad because one of the people blocked the fire truck, because our office space was on one side, the fire department was on the other, and parking was nuts. And we ran out of parking. They were blocking the fire truck, so the fire marshal came and almost shut us down. I had the mayor there. It was fantastic, and everybody's like, "When are you going to bring this back?" Because they're begging for this client party right now around here. Okay, and so I'm hopefully bringing it back next year. It was a tremendous success. I would encourage you to do that. I used to also do small client parties that are really, really effective. Okay. And what that would be is a poker night. Okay. If you play poker, I had a custom table built, a poker table. I had a custom table or cloth built one time. I've had wine nights. I brought a sommelier in, and I had a small sommelier talk, I guess you'd call it, on like 6 or 7 different wines. So, but that's for the VIP clients that, I'm buying everything. They're just showing up. They're just invited to a small gathering. And I had like 8 people there on those things, but it's a small VIP client event. So that should be part of this business plan. Okay. It's human connection, right? So think about putting that in there. Now, let's talk about social media. Social media is really, really powerful. I will make $100,000 to $200,000 every single year based off of social media. And half the people don't even like me. That's okay. They respect me for the professional that I am, and we have difference of opinion. But if they're looking for somebody really good, and you're known to be really, really good at what you do, they will hire you. To the extent where I just closed a $3.5 million property here in Rancho Santa Fe, and the client's son-in-law had a real estate license. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that that's the possibility that you can be known for if you're really good in real estate on social media. Their comfort level was with me. It was not with the son-in-law. Now, I also made sure they didn't overpay for the property. It was listed at 3.8 or 3.9, something like that. And we waited, strategies and all that stuff were implemented, and our first offer didn't get accepted. And we waited 3 or 4 weeks, and then we wrote another offer, and then we got our price accepted. They did not overpay for the property. I actually saved them a couple $100,000. Okay. So, and I'm getting another listing from them, right? It'll be in a couple months. So that's really important. Your social media is image. What is your image on social media? So think about that, improve it, and really make sure that everybody knows that you're a real estate agent in your marketplace and you're good. Really allow them to really see you in action, right? Not the stupid things holding up the sold sign. I mean, those are cute and everything, but they're kind of old. They're already outplayed. If you're going to attract business, how good are you? Did you save them money? Did you get their offer accepted? If you're representing a buyer, did you get their offer accepted when there was 30 offers on the table? So we've done that this year. So did you blow away, if you sell the listing and you blow away the comps, up 50 grand, highest sale in the neighborhood that anybody's ever had, and it was a crappy property? Market that, right? You have to market that. It's not egotistical, it's true, right? They might think it's egotistical. That's why they don't like you half the time, is because you're showing proof that you are successful. It's very important out there in real estate because it's an image business. Real estate is an image business. So think about your social media. How impressive is it? How is it upgraded to say, hey, that's the professional that I want to hire. They're really good. They just did this, or 2 months ago I saw them do this. And that's the person that's going to work for me. I got a referral here the other day from social media. And the relationship, I've met him a few times at the gym. Okay, they're going to buy a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 house, somewhere in that range. And they know a bunch of real estate agents, but they follow me on social media. And this happens over and over and over again. So anybody I meet out there, I'm adding to social media. I'll add, so on my social media, I have asset managers on my social media that I will list their family's houses in Phoenix or in California. And they know every person out there that's done REO. And that's a huge, huge thing for them to say, hey, Brent, I pick you. Okay. It's because of the image on social media, and I'm freaking good. Okay. I back it up. I will spend money to market their houses. I will do things correctly. Right. I will make sure that if I see a life event, I'm going to call them, say, hey, I'm here for you. Okay. So those are the things that you can do using social media. It's really, really important. Okay, so those are the average or the normal, things that people do in their business. I wanted to touch on all of that, but I also now want to go into some numbers. So get a pen out if you haven't been taking notes. Hopefully you have, and I'll send this recording out. And let's go through this real quick. Now after you've sourced your business and you've implemented some of these plans that you're going to do, you've figured out some of your mistakes and the things that you need to improve. So let's figure out how to get the money to operate your business. And so write this down. I made blank dollars this year, and put gross income. Okay. I took home blank dollars. I wasted blank dollars on this. Okay. Could be internet leads. Okay. I want to net blank dollars in 2021. And since this is going everywhere, maybe it'll be on 2022 and beyond. Who knows? So put that down wherever. All right. So here's another thing I want you to write down. Super important. My taxes off my net income are blank. Okay. Write that down. Most real estate agents, they don't pay taxes until the last minute. Don't allow that to be you. So we're putting this into your business plan. Okay, just because you made $10,000 in a commission or $100,000 in this year or $500,000 doesn't mean that that's all money that you're spending. Okay, so let's write that tax. My taxes are blank. This is going to get you thinking that all the money that's in your bank account now isn't your money. Okay, so. And I want you to think that because I want you to start at zero and I want you to go to work. Okay. My true net after taxes, my true net, okay, this is the next line, is blank dollars. Okay. So you're going to subtract those taxes that you have to pay, and that's going to give you your true net, your spendable income, and make sure you have a good number of what you actually made this year in 2020. And this is important so you can plan for the future. How many deals did I do? Write this down also. Or do I need to do using my average sales price, gross dollars. Okay, so let's just put 10,000 in there if it's $10,000 gross. And how many deals do I need to do at this dollar amount to bring home this dollar amount? So we just did the math on your business for 2020 and 2021, your bare minimum standard. bare minimum standard. We want you guys to go up. So and here's another thing that I want you to put down there. How do I double the business? You can double your business. You can increase your profitability. You can, since we know these numbers, you can figure out between now and the end of the year, and actually I'm gonna give you a tip too, now until the end of April, to lower your tax basis, okay? So if you do this today, and you say, man, I can lower my tax bracket if I can figure out how to get $50,000 worth of deductions. And those $50,000 worth of deductions lower my tax bracket, right? And so then I'm only going to pay this percentage to the feds, and I'm going to pay this percentage to the state. How do I do that? So I'm going to tell you, call your CPA, because I'm not a CPA. But you can do that by buying assets for your company, whether it's a vehicle. There's still a $25,000 deduction out there for buying a vehicle. Don't buy the vehicle just to avoid paying taxes. Pay the taxes, fine, if you can't afford the vehicle, okay? The other thing that you can do is put yourself on payroll. And if you put yourself on payroll, you can max out your 401k, 17.5. Then if you're single, you can profit share into your 401k. And I have to ask your CPA if it's still true, because I haven't found out yet. I've got an appointment with my CPA here this week. So if it's still true where you can profit share up to $45,000 if you're single, or up to $90,000 into your 401k, and what does that look like to lower your tax bracket? It's a big, big deal. You can also put, if you have kids, and I think they have to be 12, don't quote me on that. I think they have to be 12 years old and older, and they actually have to work in your business, but you can put them on a payroll up to like 12.5, I believe, or something, 12.8, 12.5. Each one of them, as long as they're working in your business, and you can pay them, they don't have to pay taxes on it. You get the tax deduction, and now they can pay for everything in their lives, right? So if they're going to soccer and football or whatever, if you're open, and they can pay for their own soccer and football. If they can pay for their own clothes out of that, right? It's a huge deduction. So think about that part of it. Taxes are okay to pay, but I want you to understand that you don't have to do as many deals if you don't want to, and you want the lifestyle, understanding the game of taxes and building wealth. That's why we go to work, so we can build wealth and enjoy our lives, right? My business funds me. So be intelligent and learn ahead. Ask questions of your CPA. There's a couple tips there. So how many listings will I, part of your plan, how many listings do I need to take in 2021? How many did I take this year? Where'd those come from? We already sourced it. So how many buyer sides? This gives you part of the plan. That's why we went through all this before, and to really get ironed down of saying, hey, I've got to list a home every single month. I know 6 of those homes are going to come from referrals. And if I don't want to spend money on marketing, if I don't want to door knock, if I don't want to get internet leads, and I don't want to do all this other stuff that I'm not really comfortable with, then how do I really do a deep dive into my database and get my database perfected enough, and I communicate enough in order to pull 12 listings out of my database? Okay, that's why we want to do the math. It's really important. Okay, next I've written down, calendar everything for the year. This is part of your business plan, because I want you to identify how many days off that you want to have. How many vacations do you want to have? How many work events do you want to have? What's important to you? Okay, I want it on your calendar. What's important to your family? What's important, on your day-to-day activities in your lives of like, hey, 3 o'clock, I got to be done with work so I can go coach football. And I did that for 7 years. Okay. I was going to be on the field with my son, and I was going to donate the time to the community, but really for my son, of being a football coach. Okay. That's important to me. That's worth $100,000 plus a year in order to have that experience. So identifying what's important to you on your calendar, identifying what's important to your spouse and your kids, okay, is really important. Identifying what's important to your business. So if you're going to events, then put that down. Hey, I'm going to this event throughout the year. Now, with that, okay, put down for my business, what's important to my business is my marketing. When am I going to start my newsletter, and when is it going to get mailed out? My 12 emails or my 12 postcards, are they going to go out on the 15th every month? If they go out on the 15th every month, then that needs to be on your calendar. Okay. Now, identifying time to do prospecting, identifying time to do follow-up, all should get on there as well. And just if you're just not sure, you're not comfortable with the term prospecting or making phone calls or whatever it is, just put an hour. So let's start small, and then we'll increase it. Your follow-up needs to be on there as well. These things need to be on there in order to get you organized enough. So if you have nothing to do, you look at your calendar and you're like, oh, I should be prospecting. Okay, if I'm not prospecting, then I'm doing follow-up. I have an A and I have a B. If you have an A and a B, then if you don't want to do this at this specific time, then you move into the other thing that you're okay with doing, because it's kind of a different, less stressful thing to do. Okay. Also write down, this is a really important question. How does your family benefit? Okay. How do they benefit by supporting you? If you get the buy-in from your family, from your kids, right, your significant other, whatever it is, whatever your situation is, then you going to work is less stressful because they're not on your butt. They're not making you feel guilty that you're going to work when you should be spending time with them. That's the big thing. They value time. They don't value money. They value time, especially your kids and your significant other. 90%. They do value money when they don't have money. Then you have to go to work a lot. All right. So what's in it for them? Write this down. What's in it for them to hold you accountable to go to work? Right? This goes back. What's their benefit of supporting you? Right? Do you get to take 5 or 6 weeks off a year and go do whatever, travel the world? Or, I go to Glamis and ride, sand buggies and quads and everything. What's in it for them? Because then they're going to be like, hey, what are you doing? You're sitting here watching TV. Go get on the phones. Let's go. Right? Super important. It's less stress on you. You got to be in alignment with the people that are so close to you, and they're supporting you all the time. So when it's a bad day, they're lifting you back up, not experiencing that bad day with you. Okay, really important. Let's see here. I wrote down, they want you to win also, okay, because they benefit. Especially if they give up time with you. Okay, they want you to win. They don't want you to come back home grumpy that you had a bad day. They want you on freaking cloud 9 that you had a killer day. Money's flowing to you, and you guys are going on vacation in the next 30 or 45 days because you worked really, really hard. Okay, get them on your side. Really important. Let's see here. It's a common goal, and I also wrote down it's their selfish goal, right? What's in it for them? It's their selfish goal. You guys all have selfish goals yourselves. It's okay for them to have a selfish goal. They're like, hey, Dad, go get to work, go kill it, and then let's go take a week vacation. Let's go here. Really, really important to do that, and I think it's a fantastic family thing to do. or significant other thing to do, whatever your situation is. Let's see here. Next thing, 2021. 2020 was huge on video. 2021 is absolutely increasing with video. The amount of content that's being out there for video is huge. Every single person should be focused on at least doing 1 or 2 videos a week, okay? That is the future. Video is here. You cannot avoid it. Some of the people on the call are doing great jobs on video because I see them doing stuff. And I know on some of us, it's not comfortable to be on video. We don't really like it. I'm one of those people. But if you do it, there's a result there. It's an everlasting result because it's on the internet, right? So if you're on video on the internet and it's out there, it's marketing for you. You did it once and it's marketing for you for years. So I'll spend about $12,000 in video work that I've already have set up. I've already spent 7 or 8. And I think I got a couple more months on my contract, but I'm creating more and more video content that I'm not in the video, but I'm gonna be in a lot more videos. Okay, for the real estate business and for my eXp side. Some of you guys know I'm at eXp Realty. Love the company. There's a plug, and you know, video is where it's at. Please incorporate that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. I think I can send you a list of the people I would really pay attention to on video. And you just, you know, YouTube it. There's comedic videos out there for people. There's just fun videos. There's serious videos. I saw one guy do a serial killer type video that was really hilarious, but I don't know if I'd want that image out there. But it was funny because if you have a dry sense of humor, you're going to laugh at it if you ever see it. So absolutely add that. You got to do 1 to 2 videos a week, whether it's a Facebook Live, whether it's a professionally done video. You don't have to do a professionally done video. It can just be a Facebook Live. Incorporate your lifestyle into that and put it on your calendar that it is time for you to do video. Okay. Here's another tip: client education on buying and selling. Okay. Go watch something on YouTube that some other real estate agent did and copy it. If it's a 1031 exchange, how to do a 1031 exchange. That's a really important video to do that's going to last forever. How to buy your first home, how to buy your first investment property. These are all videos that every single agent can do no matter what your experience level is, because it's just research and implementation of it. Really, really important, okay? Getting to know you videos, your hobbies and interests, okay? So I post all my stuff in the sand dunes and I'm, you know, riding my Can-Am and through and all that. So those are fun. I get a lot of activity off of that. I show my quads, my kids jumped in their quads and all that stuff. They're pretty badass on quads. And that's incorporating my hobbies and interest, which has allowed more people to connect with me because we are aligned in what we're doing. And then it equals more real estate business, more opportunity. Okay.
Hey, Brent, so, sorry to interrupt you. Do you have a personal page and a business page on Facebook?
I do. I have like a whole bunch of pages, but I really do the most on my personal page because it's human interaction and connection, right? So like they know I'm in real estate because I'm constantly posting I'm in real estate. I ask for business. And like people are like, Brent, why do you ask for listings and why do you ask for buyers and put all this stuff out there? You're not taking all these buyers out. I'm like, no, I'm not, but I have people that will take them out, but I'm the contact. I'm the person, I'm the leader of the organization, and I've got to put myself out there in many different ways. Okay, I'll put myself out there in an egotistical manner that's kind of funny, and then I'll put myself out there that I'm making fun of myself, right? I don't care. It's a show. Social media is a show, right? And I show them things in my life that I want to show them. I don't show them all the stress I'm under. I don't show them all the bad shit that happens. in most cases, because every week I'm going to have bad stuff happen. I know that. But I'm not showing that because it takes a lot to do what we do as real estate professionals. Like our highs and lows are big. We swing big, right? We're self-employed. We gamble every day. We have to go to work to go make money. We don't get somebody, paying us a salary. So as real estate professionals, we got to go out there and hustle. So it's easier to be aligned with other people that have the same interest with you that will create more opportunities. And then it's also easier to be just the best in the marketplace for what you do. And nobody's going to brag for you. It's really tough. Like ask people one time, hey, can you write me a testimonial letter? No, they ain't doing it. What's in it for me? They don't care. I asked a client, I killed it for a client. They're not doing it. I have to write it for them. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. I'm making this shit up. Like, I don't know what's in your head. They're like, oh, I'll just sign it. Okay. So you can control your marketing that way, but be real. Okay. Anyways, so write this down. Identify what type of clients you really want this year. So there's a lot of people that want higher end deals. If you want higher end deals of part of your business, if you want better agents to be part of your team or organization, if you haven't identified them, you don't have a target. How are you going to acquire that? How are you going to track that? Or are you just going to take the opportunities that come your way? Well, what if they're shitty opportunities? Right? So what do you have to do differently in order to really understand how to get that business? If you're in a, let's just say, $300,000-$400,000 market, a $200,000 market, and you're like, man, I really want to sell $700,000 or $800,000, the top of my price range, or I want to sell $3, $4, $5 million properties. Identify it, and then let's build a plan in order to get you to that point, right? The plan can be built after you have the target, okay? The other thing I wrote down here that I want you guys to write down, what is my hourly rate? So your hourly rate, if you're going to sell a $3 million property, your hourly rate's pretty high. You're going to sell a $200,000 property. Is it worth it? Right? Should you just get a 50% referral fee so you can spend your time going after the higher end deals? Yes, that's the answer. Put yes. I want higher end deals. I want to make more money. Really important. So we delegate our lower end deals, okay? Unless you really want that client or it's your really good friend or family member or whatever, because I will do it. But most of the time I'm delegating these deals. I don't have time. My time is better spent anywhere else because I know how much I'm worth. Okay? That's so nice. Good job giving your mom a hug. So I was just saying hi, Stacy. Okay, so now let's write down your economic model. What does that look like? What is your model? So we've done expenses, we've written down our goals. What does my economic model look like? Where do I fit in? If I'm going to do my hourly rate, okay, and I'm doing paperwork and I don't have a transaction coordinator, and I'm doing all the paperwork, I don't have an assistant, right? And that is $10, $15 an hour work, and I get paid really well when I negotiate and I find deals. Should I have a better economic model for what I'm doing? Okay, the economic model is money. What's your time worth? What does that look like? If I spend my time here, I get this much money and I don't have to do all this stuff. Okay, build out your model. What metrics are you using or should be using in your business? Okay, we've given you some of those metrics, how many listings that you're going to take, How many, buyer ins are you going to do? How many transactions do you need to delegate out? What kind of work that you need to delegate? And if you study these performance metrics, it's going to give you an equation, right? It's going to give you the result of it. So where are you now? Where do you want to go? If I want to become a listing agent, a top listing agent in my market, I can't spend time with buyers. Because if I spend 40 hours with buyers, then I could have got X amount of listings, which equals this much money, right? So building out that economic model is really, really important, right? These are questions for that. So hopefully you're writing that down, you understand this. What is and what has worked, right? What's not working? We don't want to do that. Is there somebody better at that job? Is there somebody better at that job that can take it over for me for X amount of dollars, right? I don't do paperwork. I don't write contracts. And I haven't for a long, long time. I can do it. I'm really good when I do it, but my time is worth a lot of money. So I'm going to do it a different way. I'm gonna have an assistant do that work, right? So if you're like, oh, I have to write a contract, get over that. You don't have to write a contract. You have to make another phone call. And when you make that another phone call or 15 phone calls in that time frame that takes you to write a contract, when your assistant could have done it, you paid $15 to write that contract, and you made 15 contacts, which resulted in a deal. Guess what? $1 per hour, you're making way more money. Leverage, 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 leverage it out. All the stuff that you think that you have to do you really have to do it? Right? So something to think about. Let's see here. I wrote down, have you identified what success looks like to you? Right? We talked about this at the beginning of the call. I rewrote it down. Because I just think it's really, really important, especially after we've talked about a lot of different things. You've written down everything. What does that success look like? Because it's okay to only do 5 deals a year if it pays you enough money and that's the lifestyle you've chosen, right? If that's what success looks like, then by all means do that. If success looks like I've got to do this many deals in order to get this much money, and it's a big, big number, well, you're going to have to work a lot more to hit that number, and figure out what's most important to you, right? It's part of your goals. So the other thing that I want you to write down, what are your goals? Well, I'm not going to go into that many goals, but I want you to put that down. The next sentence I want you to put down is, do I need to restructure my goals? We all have some goals in our mind, and we have some goals written down. Are they in alignment with what you want your business to do? And are they in alignment with your current lifestyle? Are they in alignment with your current work ethic? Okay. Because if you want to make $500,000 or $1 million a year, I promise you, you're not going to only be working 20 hours a week. It's not going to happen for 99% of the people. You have to do the work up front in order to get to that level. So the 14, 15, 16, 20-hour days, which I have done in real estate, I've done some tremendous things, but I worked my ass off to do those tremendous things, and then I can coast a little bit, but then my business takes a hit. So the balance, you can have balance, but it's costing you something. It's either costing you peace of mind or it's costing you more money. And every individual needs to figure out what that looks like for them and their business. Okay. It's really important to identify that. Okay. Do you need to increase the goal? I was coaching a guy from Austin, Texas the other day, and I said, hey, you just closed this big deal, first year in real estate. It's like a $4 million deal. And his goal was to do 15 million. I'm like, raise it to 30. Let's go. very talented person. Was a former client of mine that I sold a house in Orange County, moved to Austin. And you know what he told me? He said, I was thinking the same thing. And I'm like, yes, dude, this guy's going to kill it. Right? So write it down, get it out of your head and write it down. And let's make that a reality for what you're going to accomplish. Because if it's just in your head, you haven't really made the decision. Make the decision and write it down. Let's make a target. We're making a target, we're making a goal, we're making something to shoot for. But if it's not written down, you can't see it, you can't hit it. Okay? Then we add accountability to it. Really important. I also wrote down success takes time. You've got to have patience. You've got to live in reality of where am I at now? Where do I want to go? And here's the steps that I'm going to have to probably take to get there. And I'm willing to go through it in order to get this. If you can go through it with the challenges, if that goal, if that target is really, really important to you, important to your family, important for everything that you are to acquire that target, the small daily challenges won't matter. We're all going to hit them. We're all going to hit challenges, but they're not going to matter as much. Okay. I also wrote down work towards mastery. If you're a buyer's agent or you're a listing agent, get really, really good. Goes back to where am I at now? Where do I want to go? How can I improve? And the improvement doesn't have to be all at once. The improvement can be just a little bit at a time. But if it's not on your schedule, if it's not on your calendar to try to improve on my listing presentation, try to improve how I communicate with buyers, if it's not on there, then you're never going to take the time to even attempt it. So I want you working towards mastery. It takes time. It takes 2 or 3 coaches probably. It takes outsiders' opinions. It takes different people thinking different ways when they're coaching you. Okay? I think that's really, really, really important. And I know we're closing in on time, so I want to touch base with a couple things here, and then we'll close it out. But this is really important. Please write this down, okay? What is my lifetime value, right? What is the lifetime value of my clients, of a client? So as a real estate professional, we sell a house, okay, and we make $10,000, we just made 10 grand. Most don't do the math of how much money that they had to spend in order to get that client. And so let's say the cost was $1,000 to get that client, internet lead, whatever. Okay. So let's calculate more costs, right? And off of that, how much time, right? I'm 18 years in real estate. It's taken me a lot to learn all this stuff. Big highs, big lows. So, but when I see a client and they bring them into the organization, I want to keep them for life. And so it's a lifetime business for most real estate agents. And that's how you're really going to get profitable. The profitability comes from repeat clients. So let's talk about that. So you write down, what is the historic value? I've had this client for 3 or 4 years. I sold 2 houses. My historic value of that client in your database is $20,000, let's say. Okay. And if they buy and sell in the future sometime, which they will if you communicate with them on a monthly basis, so you're top of mind and you're really good at what you do and you don't change, and you don't go backwards, you're getting better, then I'm going to make another $20,000 off that client. And so the lifetime value of that client is worth $40,000 for easy math, right? If they send me a referral in my marketplace, then from one of their friends, it's another 10,000, a family member, another 10,000. I'm just using 10,000. I don't know what everybody's values on their houses and commission checks are. If they buy a rental property, it's 10,000. So for that type of scenario, if they do 7 to 10 deals, or a result of 7 to 10 deals, they are a $70,000 to $100,000 client. So if you knew every single person out there that you did a great job with, you protected their interest, you took all the stress away from them, and they're worth $100,000 to you of potential business, what does that do to your business plan? Are you communicating that? Are you communicating properly on a monthly, on a monthly level? Are you communicating properly on the phone? Are you serving them correctly? Because that lifetime value of that client's worth a tremendous amount of money. Okay, it's really important to incorporate in your business plan. That right there will make everything in the past that we talked about today make sense. Okay, that's why I dove down pretty deep into figuring out who your clientele is and how to improve that. Okay, all right. So one of my last questions, it's a profound question. Okay, is, am I hanging around the right people to accomplish my goals? Okay. So this needs to be answered by every single person. Every single person. If they're not in alignment with you, then if they're not in alignment with making money at a high level, if that's what you're after, okay, then are they supposed to get time with you? Are they helping or hurting your business? Okay, am I hanging around the right people is an important question. Do they support me? Do they support my vision? Okay, because we all have a lot of friends that have not supported us, or family members, or past clients have not supported us, but we still think that they belong in our database. As a real estate professional, do they? That's the question. So that's an important question. So if they're, just figure that piece of it out. And are they firm on helping me with my business? Okay. Are they around to help improve my decisions, improve my business, my personal life, improve my business life, right? I think that's really, really important to identify and really attach that to your database and your business plan for 2021, because I want you to be in alignment with the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And if they are not supporting you in your business, if you're at a brokerage out there that isn't supporting your business, if your circle of friends isn't supporting your business, then do they need to be replaced? Okay, that's huge in 2021. All right, that's all I got for you today. It's 1 minute till